Hello and welcome to the Mobility Outlook studio at the Auto Expo Component Show 2023. And today we are doing a panel discussion on road safety, the importance of safer vehicles, safer parts. And to discuss this, I have a fine panel today. On my right is Mr. NS Mohan, he is the Managing Director and Group CEO, Suprajit Engineering. I have Mr. Manav Kapoor, he is the Executive Director at Steelbird International. On my left is Mr. Ramashankar Pandey, Chief Executive Officer, Tata Green Batteries, and on my extreme left is Mr. Manish Saraf, he is the Vice President Marketing and Sales at Paracord Products. Gentlemen, welcome. I will start off with you, Mr. Mohan. We can't harp too much on, enough on road safety, the importance of road safety. Yet, India as a country, we continue to have more than 1.5 lakh deaths every year. So, from your perspective, you talk about the approach that we're taking as a country, the government's approach, the industry's approach. Give us your insights on it.
First of all, thank you for having me on this panel. The way I look at it is that we are having a kind of a tectonic shift in what's happening around us, not just in the automotive industry, in the way the transportation, be it personal transportation or commercial transportation, is happening. This is accompanied by a fantastic development of infrastructure.
Right.
It's not just infrastructure, but the technology where your speeds are becoming much better. Now, if in this kind of a scenario, what I call as the complexity is going up, the number of variables are going up and the variability is going up. Therefore, the entire complexity of automotive industry is changing. Under these circumstances, it's very, very important that the society is taken into consideration and there is a good amount of injection of legislation and also lessons being told to the society. Otherwise, we will be in for a disaster the way that we are moving ahead.
Mr. Pandey, I'll come to you. Mr. Mohan just talked about the importance of not just the industry, considering the various or variability that we have, but also the legislation as well as society, right? You've been a champion warrior as far as road safety is concerned. Talk to us about the development that you have seen and what still needs to be done.
Thanks. First of all, giving really priority to road safety at Auto Expo, because we just started Road Safety Week. We are in this week. Government, ministry and the masses are doing their best. But as the issue is of the scale, like you said, 1.5 lakh, which means that every day millions of us use road. We travel, travel is an integral part of us. Roads have become central to our lives. And roughly 415 families does not get back their people home, which is also 100% underreported. If you look at WHO figure, it will be around close to 600, 650 people. Not every day they go to work and they don't come back. Imagine those families. In fact, everybody understands the threat, and that's why when somebody goes on road, family is worried. They are calling, they are finding whether you reach safely or not. So I think the problem is well understood, but the scale is so big. And what Mr. Mohan talked about, the variability has increased. Roads have become better, and the technology is giving you the power on the vehicle. Having that power and that variability, ultimately it comes to the human, how we are driving. So when it comes to legislation, we have a lot of existing legislation also, but if we don't have the safety loving citizen, if we don't have importance to the behavior on roads, whether it is a pedestrian or whether you are on the vehicle, whether two-wheeler or four-wheeler, I think we are by default, heading for a very dangerous outcome. Each one of us, 1 in 4 will have a crash in our walking lap. Each one of us have 1 in 13 as the fatal accidents. To me, what it looks like, there is an awareness which has come. As you are asking, the last, I think, decade or more than that, I've been working very hard in this with ACMA, with SIAM, with FICCI, with CII, all platforms, with Ministry of Road Transport. What I see, awareness is coming. But I think somewhere, rather than this, violation coming as a regulation and enforcement, the enforcement is extremely poor. And billions of us violating the law, where regulation is already there, but enforcement is not there, and you have roughly 80-90,000 only traffic cops. They cannot streamline all of us. And so billions of us violating need something else. And that is where it needs nothing less than a movement or a cultural revolution to come to a level. If you have violators 20-30%, enforcement will happen. Otherwise not. So that is why what I am advocating now after a decade is, rather than fighting with the drivers to challan them and do this enforcement, let's go the other way. Why can't we assist and alert them? Why can't we trust the same driver and bring them on the side of road safety rather than fighting with them, and use the same technology? Autonomous cars will come when it's still a debatable, but using the same technology of assist and alert, connected cars, so much of data can be then crunched and guide you, because so many variability, drivers need assistance. It's almost like when you're in a plane, you're not putting a seat belt, the air hostess does not challan you. She just comes and tells, please wear the seat belt. And with the alert, you do it. Can we change the whole scenario into a trust the same driver? And then you will see, I believe it should change. So we should incentivize this behavior change. And maybe in 3 to 4 years' time, we will see a big transformation. I always appeal to corporates like us, companies like us. In our own ecosystem, we can incentivize through our HR policy, through our supplier policy. And that kind of movement we need. Legislation is, I agree that we need more and more. But I think first thing first, let us have this cultural build-up. And we all as a automotive industry can contribute to that.
Wonderful. Three very key points that Ramashankar talked about. One is the cultural revolution, right? Second is the mindset, right? Third is what you said, assist and alert, right? So from your perspective, Manav, talk to us about the importance of making people aware, citizens aware about road safety. Drivers, of course, are a key sort of component in that. But citizens, right? Starting off maybe with school children. That sort of a movement is what is required in India, right? So your comment.
So basically what Pandey just said, I'll just add to that. So there are three ways to look at it. One is the legislature, the regulation. Is that in place? Second is how well is it enforced? The third is the awareness. My understanding personally is the awareness bit is the most effective one. Your legislature will be there, your regulation will be there, your enforcement will be posted on. But if you have the awareness, you don't need any of it. I mean, if you're aware enough that this is not good for me, wearing a seatbelt is important, wearing a helmet is important. If you're aware, you understand what is going to happen if you're not doing that. That's where you start realizing, and that's where the real movement will start. And I mean, to cite you some examples, I mean, when I go to my children's school, nowadays, even in my child's school, so they had a small booth there about road safety. And the kids come and tell me, would you give us 2 minutes when I'm going for a parent-teacher meeting? The kids coming and telling, will you give us 2 minutes we'll make you understand road safety. I was glad to go there, because if a child comes, you can't just say no. And what I know is, like, I don't know how much impact it would have on me, though I have a biased opinion already, but otherwise it would have a significant impact on others as well. Plus, these kids who are actually doing this all their life, be rest assured, these kids will actually be delivering something what we expect from the next generation to happen. So this is where the moments will start. It might take a while to take an impact, but once the impact comes, it's going to be there for good.
No, I totally agree with you, Manav. In fact, one of the things that I did as a parent, when my daughter was in her class KG, so I did a session or two in our school, talking about how kids can actually become parents inside the vehicle. When an elder driving the vehicle, breaking law, the child can actually tell them that, stop before the pedestrian crossing, stop, go slow when it turns amber, right? So I think that's something that, I go back to what you said about that cultural revolution has to start from that level. And maybe in a generation's time, we'll start seeing the changes. I'll come to you, Manish. Of course, the kind of products that you have done, give us a sense of what you have experienced over the last couple of decades, right? Two-wheelers continue to be the largest component of, accounting for deaths on Indian roads, right? The fatalities are huge in that particular sector. What are your observations? What do you think can actually bring about some change there?
Okay, so first of all, thank you, Dipanshu, for having me here. To add on what Rama and Manav said is, what I feel is, like, we have been targeting to push the child restraint system since 2002 in India. We got it approved by ARAI and others. It's not about business. We are doing it out of passion. In last 2 decades, we have not been able to move maybe 2 steps ahead or 3 steps ahead, but we are not leaving it here. What we feel is legislation, regulation is one part, as Rama and Manav said. Awareness is the mainstream where we need to work upon. The mindset needs to change that this is for their own good. Unfortunately, normal human mindset and our Indian mindset is it is not going to happen with me. We need to change that mindset with them that this can happen with anyone, everyone. So we need to do it in a 2 or 3 different ways, as one Rama said, on the corporate level, on the NGO level. What on a child safety, we need to also do the awareness programs even in the schools. We need to make it as one of the syllabus for them. It could be non marks related or whatever it is, so that their mindset start building up about the safety and regulation. Share one incident with you. To be honest, people do drive with phone on the call, or nowadays we have started saying that talking is okay, but texting is not. So child says that this is not right, and then the father or a mother stops doing that. So we need to tell them that okay, let's push them as a child awareness that okay, let's do. They should be telling to their parents who are not doing it right that please stop doing it, and that is going to help in a big way. That's what I feel.
No, so what I see is that the panel sort of agrees on a few things, which is standard, right? Legislation, awareness, getting the civil society associated with road safety, and of course, change of a mindset, right? But what is the role of technology in all of this, right? I mean, I'll come to all of you are manufacturers. So let's discuss that as well. What is the role that technology can play in ensuring that accidents come down, fatalities come down in the Indian context?
So, so technology, I think, is the big driver. To be honest, I mean, that's the only driver which can, in today's world, we're using technology for doing everything other than, whatever thing we see, everything has been driven in some way or the other by technology. Just to cite you an example, though it might not be the right context, but I mean, nowadays you have apps which kind of get you radars, which can get you where are the speed cameras.
Right.
So technology is coming up with speed cameras so people slow down because there are cameras installed everywhere in the city.
Because it's a fear of getting challan.
Exactly.
More than anything else.
But now you have apps to counter that. But my understanding, even the apps are working, I still don't have a problem with that because at least this is making you slow down. So even technology, even it is counter-used, it is still helping you in some way or the other. People say, okay, now you have cameras there, and it's been in the Western world, it's always been there. There's a bot which you can use on an app. You can it's a free download, and it'll tell you where the camera is. And as soon as your intention of the government by putting a camera is not to give you a ticket, but to make you safe, to slow you down. So is the app doing. So technology will, no matter in what form it comes, it will in a way kind of impact you in making you safer. For sure. If you use it, irrespective of what you're using it for, if the intention is to keep you safer, somehow it will get you there.
Correct. Mr. Mohan, I mean, technology, of course, would always help, no question about it. But technology at times also comes with cost, and that cost factor sometimes becomes the first barrier for the common man to sort of accept it.
Yes, true. But the question is, do you call it as a cost? Do you call it as a fine? Do you call it as penalty?
Right.
I am reminded of Singapore. It is a fine city, right? Because for everything you are fined. So if you look at it from that aspect, the fear of loss should be there.
Correct.
And from a technology point of view, if you can use this, like in Bangalore, for example, where I come from, earlier there used to be this cat and mouse play of these constables running onto the road, trying to, stop a vehicle. In the whole process, he was endangering himself and this guy, and probably a lot of other people around. But today, I would say Bangalore City Police are the best photographers in the world, because all they are going to do is click a photo and the challan comes to you.
Right.
So to a certain extent, this penalty, is it a cost? Yes, it has to be a cost. A cost for violating the law. Then it makes sense.
And I'll add to that. I mean, it's about the severity of the challan is also a concern. I mean, how certain it is. One is certainty, how certain it is that you'll get a ticket, and second is how severe it would be. Both of these have an impact on you violating a law. If you know just a 100 rupee ticket, you'll just do it. But if you know it's a 5,000 rupees, you'll think twice. And certain developed countries, they link it to your income tax returns. So they do that. So because 100 rupee might not pinch me, but it might pinch someone very significantly. So they at times, so that's severity and the certainty. Both is very important.
Both very important. So I mean, we continue to talk about technology, right? You know, active safety, passive safety. We're talking of advanced driver assistance systems, rider assistance systems coming to two-wheelers. From an Indian context, Rama, give me a sense, how much of this will, of course, this will have an impact, but how many more years can India really continue to go on this path? Before we, the ministry has said that we want to go, zero accidents by 2030, by a certain time period. How do we really do that?
See, I think you have been a technology journalist, in your earlier avatar also. So much technology exists today, that's why I feel very pain that just marry that technology with this problem and you see wonders can be created. Be it in enforcement with challan, what Maruti did from Dhola to Sarai Kale Khan, you see thousands of challan in Delhi and you see the outcome of that. In this area, nobody misbehaves. So technology can solve it. There is no question on that. The problem is, will masses believe in that technology? Is, for them, is it a scientific topic? Or is it like what he said, and I really, that statement I can put in, it will not happen to me. Now, these rules are not that British rules. This is for our own lives. So do we really see this as a life-saving protocol? Or we see this like civil disobedient movement that the British time we did? Or should we continue the same, that every rule needs to be challenged? So in our country, you are a VIP when you break a rule. This is how it's perceived that way. That is there a lane, the vehicle comes with red light and it breaks all the rules. So that perception in one way, and when it comes to road crash, we see it's a chance factor, it's a luck, it's a bad luck. And you can see a lot of superstition. So many thousands of people are involved in selling lemon and chili. You see in highways, no IoT device. What you talk about advanced driver assistance system, people are happy buying lemon and chili and they think they can be saved. When a black cat goes, you stop because, the other guy goes, he can die, not me. So this catching game with superstition, it only is evidence-based that we all does not believe in science. So the first thing we have to do is that masses should believe scientific approach to road crash. Because humans can make error. So much of variable. Our roads are not like Sweden or other part of the world. Our two-wheeler, you see, you go to Pune, it's a different India. It's Delhi, different India. Bangalore, different India. Pune, the two-wheelers can drive, four-wheelers cannot drive. Delhi, four-wheelers can drive, two-wheelers cannot drive. It's a different, and with that vulnerability, what you need is actually to trust drivers. I'm again coming back to the same. We need to assist these people, enhance their skill, and let them believe there is a skill attached to this machine. This machine given to a person who is unskilled is again a loose cannon. It's like giving arms. In US we are talking about arms. Here everybody has this arms. And two-wheeler unfortunately does not need a training to give license. So you are giving a license for a gun. It's as good as gun because you understand the momentum theory that a speeding vehicle is even worse than a bullet. How it can do menace. So technology does exist, Dipanshu. Sure. Enough technology. Simple technology. We did last year from Ministry of Road Transport. We ran a campaign where we put this Duri hai Zaruri. We said that everybody needs to maintain a distance. On our roads, we have bumper to bumper, back to back. And you can't respond. The safety distance is not there. See, your brake will work with a braking distance. That's scientific. 2 second, 3 second gap is a scientific. But the average data is 600 microsecond gap. And 45% people die by tailgating. It's scientific again, but who cares? So the first thing what we need in schools, in colleges, in our companies, to do this awareness about there's a science behind road safety. So making those prototypes, you as a media, show those videos that when somebody, when Mr. Mistry died, I was so happy that, with such a sacrifice of that person, at least the India wake up, and there was so much of videos going in the media about what happens when a vehicle hits, why seat belt is so critical, how the airbags come in. I think we need to do almost like COVID. The way COVID came, and government put even on a telephone ring, you have a COVID message, everybody is talking. So that layer of
Sensitization has to
on a
come.
feeling level, not at a knowledge level. When the feeling changes that it is scientific, I think technology is so many. You ask any of our companies, we all have technology on safety.
Correct.
And we can actually show a very good video that how it saves people. But that belief and the trust has to come that science will save. Look at those brakings, control cables, look at how the braking works itself, what kind of efficiency is there. Look at this visibility with lighting. Look at IoT system with ADAS feature. Enough technology.
There's enough technology, but all have to be integrated in some manner, along with all that you have discussed, right? Awareness, the 5 E's that we talk about, right?
Exactly.
And engineering will continue to play a very, very critical role, right? Manav, final comment. Yeah.
I agree with all the panelists and you. The technology has a huge role to play on the road safety. I'll categorize into a couple of different pillars. One is on the education side, that okay, this how we can educate people. We can use the technology in a different manner. The second is on the data. Small investment, we can put a driver monitoring system at least in the trucks, for example. We will come to know why accidents are happening. Can we stop those accidents? So that is on the second side. The third side, just putting up a camera in a city like Delhi, people have stopped going raising the speed more than 50. They have a scare sort of a thing that people are going to catch me, I'll get a challan. Even if it is not working, doesn't matter. So there are a lot of technology available in the world, in our own country, and we can use it in education, in sensitization, in awareness, and then a lot of things can be done in this part. That's what I feel.
In fact, if masses who are currently watching your session, if you want to test technology, what I told you last year with Ministry of Road Transport, we launched this competition, Safe Drive Challenge. Even today, this Road Safety Week, it is open again. There's something called India Against Road Crash. If you go on Google Play for Android, it is there. You can just, it's free for anybody. If you want to understand the power of technology, it will guide you. That app will let you know when you violate a speed, when you take a sharp turn, when you have a hazard in front of you. It will give you alerts. And if you follow that, you can get the advantage of technology. But I think this has to come like a mass communication. And all of us have a role, and we will definitely do it.
Also. On that note, gentlemen, thank you so much for being part of this discussion. Truly appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.